She wanted my inheritance so badly she threatened divorce. She didn't expect me to call her bluff or that I'd already put the money into a spousal-excluded trust. Now she's broke, single, and blaming everyone but herself. Inheritance wasn't a taboo topic in my family. It was just something we didn't flaunt. When my dad passed, everything went into a structured inheritance account that I could access but didn't touch. It wasn't rich money, but it was enough to matter. Enough to help me retire early one day or to fund a future kid's education. Enough that protecting it mattered to me. My wife, Julia, always knew about it. She acted uninterested for most of our relationship, called it your business, not mine, and joked that she didn't want to be one of those gold-digging stereotypes. If I'm being honest, that was part of why I respected her, or thought I did. But around year 4 of our marriage, something changed in her. I didn't see it immediately. It was subtle, like a hairline crack that spread slowly until one day the whole foundation buckles. At first, she became obsessed with future planning. She wanted bigger vacations, a better car, a full home remodel, and a financial growth strategy. She'd text me TikToks about leveling up and smart couples investing together. Cute ideas until they all circled back to my inheritance. Why should the money just sit there? She'd ask casually. It should be working for us. We should invest it together. This marriage needs full financial transparency. You trust me, right? It went on like that for months. Then came the night that snapped the last thread. We were in the kitchen cleaning up after dinner. Nothing dramatic. No storm, no screaming, no tension. Just two adults drying dishes. And then she put down the plate she was holding, crossed her arms, and said, "I need access to your inheritance." I remember blinking, thinking I misheard. You need access? For what? Her tone was steady, casual, almost rehearsed. For us. For our goals. For our future. I'm not asking to spend it. I just want joint access. I should be part of the decisions. I shook my head. It's not marital property. It's not supposed to be touched. She didn't flinch. She stepped closer, lowered her voice like she was giving me one last chance to be reasonable. If you don't give me access, I'm leaving. Just like that. No hesitation. No emotion. Just a transaction. And something in me, something patient and forgiving, just snapped clean in half. I didn't shout. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just said, "Leave then." Her face broke first into confusion, then panic, then anger. "You're bluffing," she spat. "You wouldn't throw away a marriage over this." But here's the thing. She wasn't ending the marriage over money. She had ended it the moment she reduced us to a resource extraction deal. She stormed out and went to her sister's place for the night, probably expecting me to call, beg, apologize, promise anything. I didn't. I sat on the couch, turned on a documentary, and ate leftover pasta. The marriage was already dead. I was just acknowledging the corpse in the room. A week passed. She didn't come home. Her texts started cold, then irritated, then frustrated, then furious. "You're acting like a child. Is this really worth losing me over? Are you refusing to take care of your wife? You're making a huge mistake. You think you're so smart. Then finally, you're going to regret this." That same night, I made an appointment with my family attorney. And the next morning, in a quiet conference room with beige walls and terrible coffee, I made a decision my wife never saw coming. I moved the entire inheritance into an irrevocable trust. A trust that I cannot dissolve. She cannot ever access. Excludes spouses by name. Requires multiple trustees. And is legally bulletproof. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it because I realized I wasn't married to a partner. I was married to someone waiting for her chance to cash out. What I didn't expect was how fast things would escalate, or how spectacularly her lawyer would crumble when they learned the truth. Julia finally decided to officially talk things out 10 days after she left. She didn't come alone. No. She showed up with a lawyer, a guy in a navy suit who looked like he practiced his smirk in the mirror every morning. She walked in behind him with that victory already secured energy, like she was about to collect a jackpot. They sat across from me at the dining table like it was a courtroom. Her lawyer started immediately. "Mr. Fletcher, my client is prepared for reconciliation. However, she feels financially insecure given your recent unilateral actions. She's entitled to access marital assets, including your inheritance. You've created unnecessary distress for her." I cut him off. "The inheritance isn't marital property." He smiled like he'd been waiting for that line. "Well, That's where you're mistaken. By withholding funds and transferring them to a trust, you've acted in bad faith. We can challenge this transfer and claim breach of fiduciary duty within the marriage. Julia folded her arms, chin lifted like she was watching the preview for the movie where she gets her happy ending. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just slid a single sheet of paper across the table. Her lawyer picked it up, glanced at it, and the smirk evaporated off his face like water hitting a hot pan. It was the trust document, not the normal version, the very specific, very ironclad one my attorney drafted with language that excluded current or future spouses, current or future domestic partners, and any party claiming financial entitlement through marriage, separation, or divorce. In bold, underlined, notarized, filed, irrevocable. Her lawyer blinked. Wait. This trust, you can't reverse this. Nope, I said cheerfully. That's the whole point of irrevocable. But you named multiple trustees and an independent guardian. And, yep, and it excludes your spouse entirely. Correct again. He looked at Julia like she had forgotten to warn him the grenade was already live. She snapped at him. Fix it. He rubbed his forehead. There is nothing to fix. He legally removed the inheritance from marital property before any legal action. We can't claim what no longer exists inside the marriage. Julia's jaw dropped. No, no, he can't screw me over like this. I didn't screw you, I said calmly. I protected myself from someone who tried to extort me. That word hit her like a slap. I wasn't extorting you. I was trying to secure our future by threatening to leave if I didn't hand over money. That's not. You're twisting. Her lawyer cleared his throat, trying to salvage some dignity. Given the circumstances, my client might consider a temporary separation instead. I stood up. There won't be a separation. There'll be a divorce. I already filed. Julia's head snapped toward me like she'd been tasered. You what? I filed. Yesterday. You'll be served soon. Her lawyer let out a long, slow exhale, the sound of a man watching his paycheck evaporate. Julia's voice cracked. You're just giving up on us? You gave up on us the moment you put a price tag on the marriage. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just looked stunned, like she'd spent all her energy preparing for a battle that no longer existed. Her lawyer quietly packed his briefcase. Julia followed him out in complete silence. And I thought that was the end of it. But the real shock came 2 days later, when she went to a different lawyer and tried to fight the trust. That attorney called me personally, and what he said made me laugh harder than I had in months. Update point: 2 days after Julia stormed out, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered, thinking maybe it was the process server confirming the delivery. Nope, it was her new lawyer. And oh man, this dude was not ready for the circus he'd just walked into. He started super formal. Mr. Fletcher, I'm calling on behalf of your wife regarding the irrevocable trust you created. She believes there may have been coercion or fraudulent intent. I literally snorted. Fraudulent? Coercion? On a trust one created with my inheritance before she took any legal action. He hesitated. Well, she claims you only did it to spite her after she had an emotional outburst. Emotional outburst? She threatened to leave unless I gave her access to the money. Silence. Then the guy sighed. A defeated sigh. The sigh of a lawyer who realized he had just walked into a flaming dumpster with a blindfold on. Mr. Fletcher, all right, I'm going to be straight with you. And this is where he absolutely should not have overshared, but he did. She didn't tell me you created the trust before the separation. She said you moved the money recently, after she hired her previous counsel. I laughed. That's not even close to true. Yeah, he muttered. I can see that now. I have the timestamp documents. Everything is airtight. Then he dropped the bomb. She told me she's desperate because she left her job 6 months ago. That was news to me. She what? She quit. She said she expected you to take over financially. And since you refused access to the inheritance, she's in a difficult position. Oh, I bet she is. The lawyer cleared his throat, clearly uncomfortable. She also mentioned she planned to use the inheritance to help fund her sister's startup. I had to put my phone on mute because I started laughing so hard I choked. When I came back, he just sighed again. Listen, Mr. Fletcher, I'm withdrawing from representing her. She wasn't honest about the timeline, the money, or even the state of your marriage. She wanted me to threaten litigation, but there's no case to litigate. Then he said something I honestly didn't expect. She seems convinced she can pressure you emotionally if the legal route fails. Just be careful. That hit weirdly. Not in a sad way. In a wow. So I was literally a walking wallet to her way. Before hanging up, he added, for what it's worth, filing for divorce was the smartest thing you could have done. After the call, I sat there for a good minute just taking it all in. She didn't just want the inheritance. She wanted to use me as her fallback financial plan. She quit her job. She wanted to funnel the money into her sister's half-baked business. She lied to 2 lawyers. She thought emotional manipulation would succeed where legal threats failed. And now, she has no lawyer, no job, no access to the trust, no marriage. Yet the story isn't over. Because after her lawyer withdrew, Julia showed up at my door, crying, begging, saying the words she should have said a year ago. And yeah, you'll hear exactly what happened next. Final update. Julia showed up at my door exactly 24 hours after her lawyer quit. Hair messy, clothes wrinkled, mascara smudged in that. I cried in my car for an hour hoping it would make me look more sympathetic way. She knocked lightly at first, then harder. Then she started ringing the doorbell nonstop, like she was trying to summon me from another dimension. I opened the door just enough to block her from stepping inside. She looked up with this trembling lip like she was auditioning for the role of repentant wife number 1. Can we talk? She whispered. Talking is fine, I said. Coming in is not. That already broke her a little. But she nodded and stayed on the porch. And then she launched straight into it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of it. Ah, yes, the classic line that translates to. The financial consequences hit me faster than I expected. She started crying. Real tears this time, not the dramatic ones. You blindsided me with the trust. You took everything from me. I raised an eyebrow. I didn't take anything. I protected what already belonged to me. You demanded money and threatened to leave if I didn't hand it over. She shook her head furiously. I didn't mean leave. I just said it because I was stressed. You said it because you thought you had leverage. I corrected. Her mouth tightened. She hated that I wasn't giving her emotional footing. She tried again. Can't we just restart? Work through this. I'll get a job. I'll go to therapy. I'll be better. Just don't divorce me. There it was. Not, I love you. Not, I want our marriage. Not, I miss you. Just don't divorce me. A plea to stop the consequences. I leaned against the doorframe. Julia, we both know why you're here. The trust cut off the money. Your lawyer dropped you. And you need stability, not me. She shook her head, crying harder. That's not true. I love you. I didn't say a word. Just looked at her, waiting. She broke. Okay, fine. I'm scared, all right. I quit my job because I thought we'd be fine. I thought you'd take care of things like husbands are supposed to. Husbands, I repeated slowly, are supposed to be partners, not bank accounts. Her shoulders fell. Then she said something that ended everything permanently. You owe me. For the years I gave you. I swear, I actually laughed. You walked out the moment I didn't give you what you wanted. That's not a partnership. That's a transaction. She realized it too. The slip, the words she couldn't drag back into her mouth. Her face crumbled. I didn't mean. Yeah, I said softly. You did. She stood there trembling, looking at me like she finally realized the one truth she never believed. I don't need her, and she can't manipulate me anymore. I grabbed the envelope behind the door and handed it to her. My lawyer's response. The divorce paperwork is signed. You can take it to whatever lawyer you hire next. She stared at it like it was radioactive. I don't want a divorce, she whispered. But I do, I answered. Then, because I'm not cruel, I added. And I hope someday you figure yourself out. But I'm not taking responsibility for the damage you caused. She stepped back like I'd physically pushed her. Is this really it? She asked. Yeah, I said. It is. I closed the door gently. Not slammed. Not dramatic. Just final. Aftermath. Within a week, her parents called me to apologize for her behavior. She moved back in with them because she couldn't afford rent. Her sister texted me saying she had no idea Julia planned to use my inheritance for her business. Julia sent one last message. I didn't realize you could actually live without me. I didn't respond. Because by then, I already had.